Well, here's a little, since we're talking music and everything.
Yeah.
Here's a little music news update.
All right.
Big news, question mark.
What?
Stephen, oh God, that's great, Piercy.
Who?
Stephen Piercy.
I know.
Posts a cryptic Facebook message.
Okay. What does it say?
Justice is peace. TBA.
Justice is peace?
Justice is peace. TBA.
PEA peace?
No, T as in Tom, B as in boy, A. Like to be announced.
Which piece? Like piece of pussy?
Like peace. That's like peaceful.
Justice is peace.
Justice is PEACE.
So they solved their court case.
Probably. Well, the thing is that I have it on higher authority.
Okay.
That Blotzer was only given until this time of the year.
Okay.
To use that RATT name.
Right.
Unfettered.
Oh, and now that time is up.
That time is up.
Yeah. So when you were talking to the guy whose name rhymes with Ron Rockin', did he have any other insight on this story?
That's all I know.
Okay.
Him
or her, I'm not trying to say.
Is the end near? Could there be something finally in the ongoing RATT saga? A very recent post by former RATT singer and band founder Stephen Piercy seems to contain some form of cryptic message for sure, and one might think this is a sign.
Uh-oh.
I wish I had some of that angelic music. Piercy is on the verge of releasing his latest solo effort, Smash, which is due on Frontiers Records in January, and the singer has spent months pressing the issue, talking about the new solo disc, noting song titles, release date, and showing off the album artwork and the logos. However, amid all of the press and the promoting for the new solo release, the frontman took to the official Facebook last week on Monday night, January 14th, and wrote, January 14th, and wrote, "Justice is peace to be announced." To be, I guess it's TBA, to be announced.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that means November 14th.
Let's see. Oh,
January 14th would have been time. However, I read this too. That was on like Metal Slug.
Yeah. However, amid all the press and promoting for the new solo release, the frontman took to the official Facebook last week on Monday night, January 14th. Why would he say?
Because he meant November. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. Now, November 14th, and wrote, "Justice is peace."
And okay? November 14th was Monday.
Okay, so it's not January 14th.
No, not unless this is a 10-month-old story and Stevie's just trying to get some clickbait clicks on.
I think he made a mistake.
Yeah.
Along with the message, there is an image of a gladiator from the generations past who appeared to be stepping on top of another man.
Oh.
With his arms slightly raised, fists clenched, wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
A warrior-like battle clothes and sporting wings. It appears almost as if some form of victory pose on top of a fallen enemy. A victory pose.
Victory pose.
Is that Donald Trump standing on top of Hillary Clinton?
Probably.
These are
the captain on that rum. What is that? What is that rum?
It's the captain. It's on Spice Rum. The spiced rum. Yeah.
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
That's right.
Clearly, it is not a TBA for this solo effort, as the information and the related has been everywhere for months. So there could be a hidden message in this short post. Is there? You decide.
Yeah.
Dum dum dum.
All we need is them to say "we report" before that.
Exactly.
We report. You decide.
Yeah, I think they'll do just fine touring as RATT minus the Blotzer.
What? I can't imagine that that's doable.
I think it's possible. Really, I do.
I don't think so. Blotzer's always been the glue. I know every time I've ever gone to see RATT, the first thing I ever checked was to make sure Bobby Blotzer was in the lineup.
No, I'm afraid that Blotzer is the fly in the ointment.
Yeah. Well, maybe he could do a Saints of the Underground No. That's right. The other singer died. Well, maybe a Queensryche. Bobby Blotzer's Queensryche. You up for that?
Well, wasn't he part of that collective with Tracy Guns and the guy from Shark Island?
Yeah, the Contraband.
Contraband. Wasn't he part of that?
Get a Contraband tour.
Yeah, he could do a reunited Contraband.
Yeah, Shar Peterson was in that too, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she ain't doing anything.
Right.
Shanker's the only one that's even a little bit busy. I mean, who's the other one? Shark Island guy? Fuck. He could get his job. He could get time off from Home Depot for that. Fuck yeah, dude. Sounds like a plan.
I think that would be a big reunion.
It'd probably draw the same as a RATT show. Current RATT, that is. How much do you think a Contraband reunion tour would draw?
$500 a night.
$500 or 500 people?
$500.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say. There's no chance. If they drew 500 people across the country, that would be stunning.
It was Richard Black from Shark Island.
Okay.
Michael Schenker. Tracy Gunn.
Right.
Cher Pedersen.
Okay.
And Bobby Blotzer.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
It would be.
A big gig.
I think that they could probably headline Walkin'.
Walking what? Walking on the boardwalk?
Walking on, walking on
ice.
Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, bet they would do great. Contraband reunion. I doubt that could do 500 people in L.A.
Yeah, nobody know what that is. Everybody in there, only the really, really hardcores would know what that would be. Even me mentioning that is like so out of touch with everybody else.
I know. I mean, who's going to look at us? We knew who the guys were.
Right.
Because we're dorks. What was their song?
Oh, the big song?
Yeah.
That was like something about Memphis, all the way from Memphis.
Do you have it?
Yes.
Let's hear. I don't even remember this song.
Yeah, all the way from Memphis. Here, let me pull it up here real quick.
Is that a cover?
I don't think so. I think this might have been an original. I'm not positive.
Okay.
Contraband.
Yeah, I don't. I, for the life of me, can't even remember at all what this sounds like.
It wasn't really hard rock stuff.
Okay.
But here, let me.
I owned it at one point, but
I have it. I have it. I actually have a CD copy of it.
Where'd you get that from for $1? Record Exchange? That's one you found in the real shitty bin, right?
I can't remember. I think so. It may have been in one of those bins.
Yeah, may have been.
May have been.
It was damn near in that bin on Impact. No one bought that record.
Here we go. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I remember that. It's Mott the Hoople song. Yeah, listening to that, his drums do stand out.
I knew that was Blotzer as soon as I heard the first beat.
And it's Bobby! Fuck, yeah!
Isn't that Blotzer on drums?
Dude, that sounds just like RATT.
Yeah.
The bottom end.
Sounded just like him.
There's no way those guys can tour without Bobby.
Sure.
Please. Blotzer. So what do you think? These guys announced their tour. They're back for more. What do you think? 6 months before Bobby offs himself?
Well, if he's one of the, the delicate snowflakes that, could be pushed easily over the edge.
He is a Trump guy.
He is. He is.
He's definitely not in the general snowflake category.
Yeah, he's not in the Hillary camp.
No. So you got to think he's got some balls. But those do get minimized by the fact that he sues everybody every time anybody crosses him.
Well, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you may or may not remember this, but this was kind of a story back in the 80s, early 80s.
Okay.
You're familiar with the Beach Boys, yeah?
Who? The Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys.
They're the band that had Charles Manson.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Yeah, I remember them.
Okay. Dennis Wilson, one of the Wilson brothers.
Yeah. One of the less creative ones, not Brian.
No, he was the drummer.
Okay.
He basically got booted from the band due to his excessive substance abuse.
Okay.
And the band continued on touring without him due to his problems.
And Bobby Blotzer's Phil.
No.
Okay.
I'm going with the suicide angle here.
Okay.
He would be often outside the gates where Beach Boys were performing, and they wouldn't let him in.
No way.
This is true.
He would sit outside the gate?
Yeah, he would go out, and they wouldn't let him in.
Like, so the bus would have to drive by him, and he'd be like, "Hey!"
Yeah.
No way.
It's true.
And Mike Love would just close the window.
Yeah, he's just like, who's that? Just some fan.
Just some guy. Come here and sign these posters.
Right. So he basically drowned in the ocean due to a quote unquote surfboard accident. But the rumor is that he basically went out and drowned himself.
Wow, Surf City, here he comes.
That's what they say. I don't know if that's true.
Holy shit.
But that's what they say.
Maybe that's why Manson was hanging around the band. They had to take care of this guy.
Right.
Could have had Charlie could have taken care of him.
So I was just kind of trying to make a parallel between a ousted drummer.
Oh, well.
And the fact that he met his demise due to his heartbreak and sadness of being replaced in the band.
What I know we're playing around, but what do you seriously think Blotz is going to do?
Well, if he ends up losing the RATT name,
yeah,
obviously he can't. That's a cash cow because of the the recognizability of the RATT name.
Sure,
but if Piercy and the other two guys, Crucier and DeMartini, reform with Carlos and Jimmy DeGrasso.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's much he can do.
Does he still tour?
As RATT or as Bobby Blotzer's experience, or does he try to find some session work?
I think he's so deluded that he would still try to tour.
Okay.
With his current band, with Mitch Perry and Josh, and
assuming those guys will be around and he can pay them.
Yeah, that's true too, because he's going to lose.
Yeah, if he can't pay them, I mean, those guys are going to hang around.
Yeah, he's going to lose 3/4 of the income per gig.
Sure.
Because what do you think? What do you think Bobby Blotzer's RATT experience would get? Especially if the Piercy version is touring.
$2,000.
I don't even know about that. I think you'd have a hard time booking gigs
At all.
I think the especially if you can't call it RATT. If neither side is, what I honestly think is going to happen is neither side is going to be able to call it RATT unless they get back together.
Well, the thing is DeMartini still has a ownership of that
50%.
Uh-huh.
But what's going to end up happening is the two of them have 50% and neither of them can come to an agreement, then they'll have to shelf the name. They're not going to make another ruling to have for another year. They're not going to do that. Yeah, they're just not going to do that.
Well, DeMartini has to show up to court.
Well, that I think
the way that this ended up with Bobby getting control of that name is that DeMartini didn't show up to court.
I don't think that'll happen twice.
No, not with the other two guys involved.
No, I don't think so at all. I think he'll be there now. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think he's going to try and tour anyway as the RATT Experience or whatever.
Or he could reopen a Stanley Steamer, franchise. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey, guys.
Hey, is this Scotty from the Commonwealth?
It is. Now go park your car and have a yard.
All right. What's up, Scotty?
I don't know, just touch base on what you were saying about Dennis Wilson before you segued into Bobby the Hoople there. One of the reasons why they fired him from the band besides Dennis Wilson, besides his drug use, was he couldn't actually play the drums. Like all of those Beach Boys albums, that was all a guy by the name of Hal Blaine.
Yeah, well, it was the Wrecking Crew. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But he couldn't act Brian Wilson supposedly could play keyboards and bass.
Well, he did all the arrangements and everything.
Yeah, he wrote everything, but that was all Carol Kay and Hal Blaine and Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell.
Right.
That were playing all those. But Dennis couldn't actually play the drums, and it was, I guess, it got to the point where it was just embarrassing. Plus, he was getting fucked up all the time, and
Do you think he couldn't play the drums because he was fucked up all the time? Do you think there could have been a parallel there?
Yeah, well, I think he realized he couldn't play the drums, and he got fucked up probably because he was depressed. He was
what came
a
first, the
snowflake.
chicken or the egg? Did he get fucked up because he couldn't play the drums, or he couldn't get to play the drums because he was fucked up?
Flip a coin. But anyway, that's it. And you guys have a great night.
Well, you
show
didn't
tonight, by
mention
way.
the fact that Leon Russell died this week.
I knew that, but I didn't
Well,
know.
you should have thrown that extra.
extra.
You should have thrown that extra tidbit in. You would have sounded like a fucking music genius.
I didn't want to go off topic. You know how sensitive I am
point.
about this. Since I got ass raped a couple months ago. I'm with the program. I'm on board.
It's a good point, Scotty. Don't stray now.
Well, yeah, that is unfortunate about Leon Russell. He was actually a huge mentor to Elton John.
All right, the early part of Elton. Scotty.
All right, you got hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job.
I met Leon Russell once.
You met him?
Yes.
Where?
He actually played the club that I worked at out in California.
You saw him play?
Yes.
Wow, look at you.
He did a twin bill with Egger Winter Group.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was Egger Winter and Leon Russell. They were touring together.
Boy, that had to be fantastic.
Well, let me tell you something.
All right.
Knowing that Leon Russell died at what was he 70 or 74 or something?
Or 300 or something.
No, it was 74.
Yeah.
Well, when I met this guy, I met him in 89, okay?
Right.
So that was let's see, 89, 99, 2009. So that was 27 years ago.
Okay.
So he was 74, I think, now that he died, minus 20. He was only in his 40s. This guy looked as old then as he did today when he died. He did. I would have never guessed he was in his 40s when I met the guy. Because he looked like an ancient old fuck when I met the guy.
The guy was born 22.
Seriously.
It's funny.
But I did not have the background and the information about the whole wrecking crew when I met the guy.
Sure.
But now that I've seen that documentary and appreciate what they did, and it was like, holy fuck, those guys played on every album in the late 50s and through the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, wow, what an honor.
Yeah, I know. Watching that documentary and then realizing they literally played on 300 albums or something.
And the most popular albums.
Every hit album of that era.
Yeah.
They played on. It's crazy.
Well, it's crazy and amazing at the same time.
Yeah. And none of them are wealthy.
They were. Some of them were, and they lost it. They pissed it away.
Yep, typical. Damn musicians and their drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one guy, I can't remember which guy he was. He was one of the guitarists, I think. Mm-hmm. He was the guy who told that story about how he had a mansion and he had a boat and he had like Rolls Royces and all that.
Right.
Shit. And he comes home and his wife tells him she wants a divorce.
Yeah.
And he gets cleaned out and he goes and becomes like a night watchman at some kind of a warehouse in Arizona or some shit like that. It's like, wow.
Guy went from having a net worth of about $20 million to fucking making sure that nobody comes in to rob the storage facility.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I swear to God, when that guy told his story on that documentary, my stomach actually turned. I was just like, holy shit.
Now, if that was your life, let's go back to the suicide question. You commit at that point? If you had it all and now you're the night watchman?
Oh, boy. I got to admit, that would be really depressing.
That's like a Harry Chapin story.
It is. It is.
Jesus.
But I did go from having a pretty good life to driving a cab, so I kind of can relate to that in a way.
And believe me, there were days I thought you might not fucking call ever again. You are one depressing son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was not a happy time. Not a happy time. But my dad, I'll tell you the truth. My dad got me through that. He was just
really?
like, you know what, son? He said, you're going to experience these highs and lows. He said, right now is a low time, but he says, when the high time comes, you're going to do all right. And at this point, the high time is here.